Um,
Steve and I are actually joking because we're both very much sports fans that we can definitely be the closers in regards to this 3-day event. I'll do my best to be Kenley Jansen for the Dodgers, for all of our Dodger fans that are out there. So we are super excited to be the closers. And again, I'm Laura Schneider. I'm the Director of Sales and Strategy at LG Ads. And I'm really excited to introduce Steve Hartman, who is at Experian right now, running a lot of integrated marketing techniques and has a really great background from a lot of different brands. So we want to kick us off by Steve, you telling us a little bit about your previous backgrounds and your role at Experian.
sure. Thank you so much, Laura. Yeah, so right now I'm the head of integrated marketing at Experian, which means pretty much responsible for all paid media, all user acquisition channels, with a pretty big, with a pretty big marketing budget. My career has been, it's been kind of, touched a lot of different types of marketing. I mean, I started as a brand marketer at Fox, and I think the minute that I moved to foxsports.com and I started in my digital career, I was kind of labeled as a performance marketer because that's just kind of how it was. And I went to eHarmony, where we had a really good mix of brand and performance. I was the first marketing hire there, and so got to see some pretty amazing growth. We hit lightning in a bottle with kind of the user testimonials and just the different just kind of being a differentiator in the market, a disruptor to like the Match.com way. And that was a lot of fun. And from there, I went to Gamefly, another subscription service. That was the Netflix of video games. And again, it was very, very, very DR centric. And I think, I think I almost lost my way around what brand marketing was. But I think now you think about brand and performance, they you don't really have to have one or the other. I think you have to have both, and I think the lines of both are kind of blurred these days.
So true. I actually think we might have crossed over a little bit at eHarmony. I was at Omnicom on the mobile team, and we were doing a ton in regards to actual subscriptions for the apps themselves, and even back to a lot of the spots that really the doctor was the main lead. So it always was kind of this blend between the art and the science of what's happening from a branding standpoint or a DR standpoint. And it seems like your career has followed that path, which has been really exciting. And I would just love for you to kind of talk a little bit more about how you're able to blend or even merge those two different metrics together, even if it's just talking about Experian currently.
Yeah, definitely. So, Experian, I think when I took over, for handling most of paid media, I think we TV really well, or we did TV, a lot of TV, kind of didn't measure it that well. And then we did a lot of like lower funnel, like, search and affiliate stuff. And I think we missed a lot of what was in the middle, and I think that digital video, all those elements, but also with TV, I mean, there's a smart way to do TV. I mean, we're not Coke and Pepsi and Ford. I mean, we had I should say, we're a credit bureau. And so, some people think of, or most people think of a credit bureau as a place that you don't really want to go, right? It's kind of like the DMV. It's like, I go there if, there's something wrong, right? And I go there if I have to dispute something. And so we kind of had that negative connotation around us. So for us, it was like, how do we become a consumer brand and get people thinking away from that? So that was like, that was one thing. That was kind of like that brand, reestablishment that we had to do, but we also needed to kind of build our user base and get people into our products and compete with, the Credit Karmas of the world who had a great, consumer experience. And so, I think, we've done a really interesting job of doing of this, right? We hired John Cena to be our company spokesperson, to make it, really kind of keep things light. We also, have, user testimonials, kind of like back in the eHarmony days, which I think, throw some validity to the messaging and the marketing. But also we had to be really smart with digital. We had to create an experience that was free, first of all. We were always forcing people into kind of a paid product, and everybody knows that you can get your credit score report for free, from your bank, from your credit card, from a number of other of our competitors. So we kind of moved into this freemium model, and then also we launched Experian Boost, which it was a revolutionary product. It was, it's actually the first time and the only place where you can go and actually improve your credit score. You can add trade lines to your to your credit file. You can add your cell phone payments, you can add your utilities, you can add your Netflix payments, by connecting your bank account. And, that I think kind of set us to this next level. So it's like we had, we knew the media would work if we had the right offer and the right product. And, I think that the last thing that we did was we switched to kind of a mobile first experience, and we were always mobile last. And it was kind of embarrassing, honestly. We focused on our app, and we made this like really simplified version of our product, and we put it in our app, and then started slowly making the app our main call to action. And so that allowed us to unlock a lot of the digital channels. So we can talk about that later too. I think all of those things together, are the key to kind of our marketing strategy, and kind of how we went from, just buying branded TV and paid search to kind of having like this well-rounded, marketing and media plan.
Yeah, and even some of the most recent spots I've seen in regards to the Boost product is actually filmed, or the outline is on a mobile device, which is really neat. And also is like, hey, we're moving to this mobile first approach. So I'd love now, before we kind of go into some more of those details of how you're buying and how you're measuring success, if we could show the community that's tuned in both the brand John Cena spot as well as the Boost spots. If you have those ready to go, or if you could pull them up, it'd be great.
Oof.
If not, we could definitely talk more about them.
There we go. All right.
Nice. Nicely done. Technology.
This credit app will save you money.
This credit app will save me money. This credit app will save me money.
You're gonna have to pay for that.
Put it on my tab.
What happened?
You were brainwashed. That app is trash. Only with Experian's app can you get your free FICO score.
The credit score 90% of top lenders use.
And raise it instantly with Experian.
I got 13 points.
Boost your credit scores instantly, only with
Experian.
Download the Experian app now.
Welcome to That's What I Thought. Let's get right to it. Travel to Mars takes 7 months, but you can raise your credit scores instantly with
Experian.
This tool doesn't fix scars, it can help you save on them.
Can I phone a friend?
No.
Experian.
That's it for ways to raise your credit scores instantly. Next up, purple cows and credit card facts.
13 points? I am a winner.
Boost your credit scores and save. Free, only with
Experian.
Go to Experian.com or get the app now. Now there's a new way Experian Boost can raise your credit scores.
I had no idea I could raise my credit score just by paying my monthly streaming service. We're all doing that, right?
Now, paying for Netflix, Hulu, and more can boost your credit scores. Only at Experian.com/boost.
So nice. I mean, that purple cow, how come it's purple? Was there anything that you kind of thought of in the rationale for making it purple?
The cow always threw me for a loop when our agency gave us that, and it was like, is John Cena the star of this, or is the cow the star of it? But it's almost like the cow wouldn't do well on its own, but somehow as John Cena's sidekick seemed to work.
So Batman and Robin. So John Cena's Batman and Robin has got to be the purple cow.
Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, I think I wanted to show those spots. Obviously, you had the John Cena spots, which are kind of our big brand spots, but they but they have a strong call to action at the end. So I think that's something that we're always going to stick with. It's it's a live action branded spot, but at the end you have the app, and the end you have the call to action, and you have John Cena saying, download the app. It holds a little bit more weight. So that's for us, that's kind of, I mean, there are brand spots, but they're performance spots, I mean, as well. So we launched, this is the second year with Cena, and we launched in the AFC Championship game, that the newest spot. So it was the first one that you saw. And that day, in that spot, the instant impact of that spot was like greater than anything we've ever seen. And it actually took down the site for a few minutes. And it was like, I mean, that's why we buy TV, right? It's like you get this, you get this unduplicated reach, you get this, massive viewing audience in one spot, and it worked out for us.
So John Cena broke the internet. That's amazing.
Doesn't he always?
Very true. Probably among a lot of other things back in his wrestling days. But just in regards to a lot of the way that you're looking at upper funnel TV, I know that you're mirroring a lot of what you're doing in performance as well as branding. But, TV, I feel like you guys have a very different approach to TV in general. So I'd first like to kind of start about how you buy TV, and then I would like to move to more of kind of this tentpole event or very topical things that we've seen in the industry around something like the Oscars, seeing less than 50% of viewership that they saw the year before, and what you're looking towards in the future, knowing what you're seeing from how you've historically bought TV.
Yeah, I mean, generally we do look for those tentpole, those tentpole events, like you mentioned. For us, those include NFL, March Madness, the Olympics this year. We've definitely looked at award shows and bought award shows, which is kind of a interesting topic that's been around, the media circles lately, where no one's watching award shows. That's kind of not surprising, because there haven't been that many new movies out, and media is just a little bit, it's kind of taking a year off. But we try to align big launches, new spots around those types of events, right? That's the unduplicated reach. That's like the big hit, that we love to see and we love to feel as a business. We feel something like that, right? Like if we run in a NFC, or if we run in a football playoff game, or in a March Madness, opening day, we feel it as a business, and then we also kind of layer in, and we have to layer in the rest, right? And so with our cable buy, we use simulmedia, so that we actually buy an audience rather than buy programming, essentially. And I think that's been really helpful for us. It's almost like our kind of like our DR arm for buying, I would say. You know, and you know, we always used to buy, you know, prime time and network prime when we had it, but network prime and it just isn't what it used to be. I think it's down like 12% quarter over quarter. You know, and you know, it's just, you know, there's just not a lot of original programming there anymore, and so kind of taken that out, and we've replaced a lot of that with CTV, and you know, I mean, obviously this is you know, perfect after the LG ads, you know, presentation that just happened. I think his name was Michael on your team, and you know, a lot of those stats, you know, are exactly the reason why we buy CTV as well, and we have to buy CTV, and it's like, it was one of those things that we never really focused on because the measurement wasn't there for us, and so we have a really strong internal attribution model, that the TV attribution model that you know, we've built in and we've worked on for years, and we kind of can figure out the efficiency of our TV buy, you know, from the tentpole stuff to the, you know, to the, you know, DR cable daytime news, you know, airings. And so we had that. And so, you know, for me, it was like, you know, do we buy CTV? It's, you know, 2 to 3 times more expensive. I'm not able to measure it, you know, what, you know, but I know my audience is there. So, you know, what do I do there? You know, and so it's like we kind of slowly started doing more and more, and it's definitely a bigger part of our, you know, of kind of our media mix now. You know, and you know, I think you and I can talk a lot about, you know, what it means to, you know, to buy, you know, connected TV with, you know, the incremental reach, with, you know, the frequency capping that you know, that Michael spoke of. It was Michael, right, Laura?
Yes,
Yeah.
Michael.
Michael spoke of, you know, and you know, and just like the digital targeting, right? Buying TV the way that you would buy digital, you know, so, and then also I think, you know, the other thing that Michael spoke of, which is, you know, awesome, and we do a little bit of, you know, with some of our partners, is the suppression, you know, of linear TV viewers, you know, and so, you know, all of that stuff, you know, leads us to kind of putting more of our marketing dollars to, you know, to streaming.
Yeah, and also just in that example, I know you mentioned that, you know, looking forward to this year, someone like Viacom, MTV, and VH1 are sold out for the rest of the year. So replacing some of that reach that you could have gotten because you can't have it right now because it's sold out, with layering audiences such as MTV viewers or VH1 viewers on top of your CTV buy, is a huge way to capture that reach that you're missing because you just don't have the availability to get it, as well as those reach numbers are lower. Something we're really excited about at LG Ads is we have this exclusive owned and operated inventory that's on the screen, where you can still have, you know, a full screen video ad that's targeted to that same audience, but in a very different way than how you would buy linear.
Right. Yeah. I mean, honestly, you kind of hit on something that, you know, I probably should have mentioned earlier, but yeah, I mean, it's, you know, linear TV is, I mean, you have, you know, these, you know, decreased viewer rates, and then you have more competition, right? You have these brands that have just been sitting on marketing budgets for months and months and years. You have categories that were like basically asleep for a lot of 2020, like travel, you know, they all have a ton of money and they're ready to put it in market. And, you know, in 2020, everyone pulled out of the market. We pulled in, we pushed in, and we, you know, we took advantage of these like amazing rates. And we had, you know, we shifted a lot of our buy from from some of the broadcast prime stuff to like daytime news. And, you had a CNN airing at 4 o'clock that had more viewers than, ABC primetime show that night, and so things were just different. And so, yeah, I mean, like you said, that, there is, there's an inventory situation right now that's happening on linear. And yeah, I mean, Viacom was, a lot of the Viacom networks are completely sold out, through the next quarter. You have, the NBA on ESPN, ABC, and TNT is sold out, through the second round of the playoffs a month ago. And so, finding your audience, is getting harder, right? And so, finding this, unique reach through connected, makes sense.
Absolutely. And would you say that if you're looking back at 2020 versus how you're looking at 2021, it's more competitive and more crowded in 21 or in 20?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think this year is, we're already seeing, I mean, we're already seeing, the competition. And then we're in FinServe, so we're a fintech company, and, fintech in itself took this leap in ways that no one really expected, right? It was, from, it used to just be, all the lenders, all the credit card companies and banks, you have insurance, if you wanted to call that into FinServe, that's who was buying, all the media. That's who our competition was. And then now it's like, Robinhood and Chime, and, you have Coinbase, and, how you have all these, you have these, kind of ancillary, fintech companies that have come in, and they're all apps, right? And so we're competing against these guys, even though they're not our competition in the product. It's the competition in, in the consumer, that we're trying to reach. And so, that's created another, kind of a, another hurdle for us to climb. And so, it's been interesting. I mean, honestly, it's going to be a crazy year. And I know that we're not going to be able to kind of meet our, our pandemic numbers. We were, it was pretty awesome that everybody was in front of their computers and in front of the TV for the majority of, last year, because we were reaching those people, and they had time to go and check their scores and reports and stuff, because they were concerned about what was going to happen to their, to their financial, stability. And so, now we're just going to be, kind of focused on, new ways of reaching these people, and kind of new angles to do so as well.
Well, even just kind of thinking of another timely trend that's happening in our world right now. I mean, the housing boom is here, and we're especially experiencing it on the coast. And with the Boost product, like, have you guys seen more actual signups and visits based on this housing boom that's happening?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think there's a lot of macro conditions that probably helped us. I think one, refis was the first one. Refis, even before the housing boom. The housing boom was kind of happening, but I think there was a lot of people kind of waiting, kind of in a wait and see situation. But refis just like went nuts last year, biggest refi year ever, and with rates staying low, it's just made so much sense. And so, yeah, we saw a lot of increased demand there. And that was interesting because, we don't usually see or feel that as much, but we definitely did. Now I think, yeah, there's definitely a lot of, there's a lot of buzz. There's a lot of, there's a lot of people in the market for homes. There's a lot of people that have money right now. Again, they've kind of been sitting on their dollars too, and they're, they've been in the same house, and they're looking to upgrade in different ways, and also, home improvement loans and things like that. All those things are happening, and they're all reasons for people to want to check their credit, and people to want to know that they can have a better credit score and a better credit score leads to better rates, and all that. So it definitely trickles down to us when you have that kind of when you kind of have that kind of, condition that's happening around you that impacts credit.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly didn't know that I could use my streaming services, which I have about 5 or 6 within my household, to help my credit score. So that is definitely something that I will take as a follow-up from this conversation. So that's really exciting. And I love the consumer just user experience from the ads themselves. So I know we've talked a lot about really upper funnel type buying, but I did want to lean a little bit on your agency relationship with Camelot and some things you guys are doing to stick out, because there is a lot of competition from some straight direct competitors or secondary competitors that are very much in the app game. So can you tell us a little bit about some things you're doing to stick out with the Camelot team?
Yeah, so Camelot, kind of an under the radar agency out of Dallas. We've been with them for, I think, 7 years. And that they're very data driven, data focused. We're a data company. We align pretty well. It's not always easy to get our data, our first party data. We're also a credit bureau, so we have to, double, triple protect ourselves in every way. So, I think one of the things is really just, using our data to really better target, our desired audience. I think that's first and foremost. I think, we can talk a lot about, there's been so much talk about, iOS 14.5 and the cookieless world that, I don't want to spend time there, but, that's a reality that we're going to have to deal with. But just, that makes our first party data even more valuable. So I think one of the things that Camelot helped us do was really break through in digital. And I think our shift into mobile app also helped us do that. Whereas we couldn't make Facebook and a lot of the social media platforms work for us when we were driving to a web registration, mobile web registration. When we switched to an app download CTA, it changed things for us. It unlocked Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snap, TikTok, even YouTube, really, from a measurement perspective, from a scalability perspective, with the Boost product, we also got younger. So, we were now, instead of targeting these people that could afford a, premium subscription to Experian for credit or Experian for identity protection, we had this freemium business that, this freemium service with Boost that, really resonates with millennials and even younger. And so, I think that kind of led to, our ability to really, make digital work, make social work, make social video work, all those things.
Yeah, and just, I mean, TikTok's always been a fascinating platform for me. What was your TikTok campaign like? I mean, was it an influencer based, or what? Tell us a little bit more about TikTok specifically.
Yeah, I was probably the most skeptical of anyone on my team for that. I was like, TikTok, it's great. Do we want to reach like 12 to 17-year-olds or what, and then you kind of look at the breakout of the audience and how massive it is and how big their 18 plus, reach is. And it's pretty massive. And then it's like, okay, well, we're still Experian, can we do anything that's cool enough to, break through? And, some of the Cena stuff works really well, because, it's Cena. but what works best is kind of like the user generated type of videos, the testimonials, and it's because I think everyone's used to the camera in their face, I mean that whole selfie view, and when you have you have the person captures you, and you have kind of the the scrolling text as well, and those things, and it works, and that audience is really receptive to ads, and to the right ads. And so yeah, I mean, if you had told me a year ago that TikTok was going to be a a major part of our acquisition strategy, I would have said no chance. But yeah, it's been great. Snap's been great as well for the same reason. And it's like they have great ad tools, honestly. Like they really they do a good job for advertisers that have an app experience, and so that helps as well.
Awesome. Yeah, I have a lot of friends over at both companies, and they work really hard to make things more seamless in regards to the user flow and whatnot. So it's very exciting that Experian has been dipping their toes in a lot of those different platforms, especially to reach millennials. I think we're getting closer to time, which is exciting, but one last question that I would like to ask is, when we're looking back at 2020 and looking forward to 2021, what are you most excited about for 2021?
Most excited about
This could be professional or personal. So it could be your favorite foodie restaurant that you're going to visit now that things are opening back up in Southern California, or it could be professional.
Definitely looking forward to getting back into the restaurant scene. I moved down to Orange County and missed a lot of have missed a lot of my favorite LA spots for sure. There's the food doesn't compare unless you like chain restaurants. But professionally, I think a lot of the I spoke to some of the things that I think I'm concerned about, and I think it's the opening of the world. We're actually starting to see kind of a slowdown already, and it makes sense, right? People just don't want to be in front of their computer. They don't want to be checking their credit. They don't want to be doing anything online. They don't want to be watching TV. They've been doing it for 12 months. It's like let's get out in the world, and that's going to be it's going to be hard, right? And it's going to be a different mentality when we're trying to reach our consumers, right? We always try to do things to follow eyeballs. Like where are your consumers right now? How are they consuming media? And honestly, they might not be, for a few months. But I think mobile is going to be more important because people are just going to be on their phones rather than, in front of, for their laptops or iPads or whatever. So those are things I'm still concerned about. I mean, I think, as far as, I like the challenge to try to duplicate, the success we had. Last year was the best year in the history of Experian Consumer, and how are we going to top it? I think we have this series of John Cena ads that I think are pretty awesome. I showed you guys two of them. We have a next one launching this month, or launching at the end of May, and then we'll have another one out for the Olympics, and for an Olympics buy, that we're going to be that we're part of as a sponsor. And that's the stuff I get super excited about. How do we penetrate the market with something cool like that? And again, it makes my job fun, but it also makes Experian, less of a kind of a dinosaur and more of like a progressive brand. And that's something that, is really important to me.
Okay. And on that note, guys, I am the sign off music here. Thank you both so much for that. It was great. Yes. Excellent. one of the things I really love is seeing all of the different creative on these things. So the John Cena ads and stuff, and the emphasis on creative too. In other words, so often, and this is my closing remark here, so often I find myself at things that are run by either publishers, programmers, or at or ad tech companies, and we're always talking about what brands want, what brands are thinking. And so it was such a nice experience to spend 3 days actually